prime times. Yeah, the Chalice on one is powerful with tree, but it didn't stop my opponent from just being like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep making my land drops. And then him slamming the Titan. I feel like to win that matchup, you need to run like a really bad card. And I don't want to do that to our deck. Because you'd have to trim on like Flusters. It just doesn't seem worth it. I mean, it'd be good in the Omni matchup as well, but it's no Slaughter games. The Moor side is not nearly as good as Slaughter. I just can't think of any. I mean, there's an artifact out there that does something similar. I don't know how many Emrakul's they run. I mean, if we really want to look at the deck and we really want to improve our chances, best place to go is here. And you just kind of analyze the average list. Oops, Legacy. Not so long ago. Strangers to love. It's not that common though. See, that's the other thing. It's not too common. Like, I don't even see it on here. Did you guys see it? 12th post? And that's the thing, is it's not that common. I don't think I can search that way. I think I have to search like decks using Emrakul, so we could go to like Omni. And then click on Emrakul, decks using Emrakul. I mean, we'd have to start running something really bad. The Eureka deck is sweet. Okay. Kozilek, Ulamog, Emrakul. 2 Candelabra. Main deck Pithy Needle. Spice, 1 Oblivion Stone. All is dust. This is really different than what we just played against, though. 1 deck in the meta. Yeah, I don't want to run any cards if the deck is just not present. If it's not prevalent. If it's not prevalent, I see no reason to run any cards. But I mean, if they really are just running 1 Emmy, you get some options like you could run Memoricide, you could run Jester's Cap, although Jester's Cap I think is more mana than I'd like to pay. It seems wrong though. Memoricide wouldn't stop this guy's variant because it's got a split. You'd have to use something like Jester's Cap. If they're usually running like anywhere between 1 and 3 big targets, it'd have to be something like Jester's Cap. And that's just a really bad card. I know, I thought Chalice on 1 would win the match too, Wolf Tree. Chester. I mean, like, you're talking about running a really bad card. You're talking about, I want to spend 6 mana to exile their Eldrazi. Here's the problem, if it's in their hand, it doesn't even work. And then Memoricide is kind of like, the problem with Memoricide is if they run a split of Eldrazi, you can't Memoricide them. Because I'm pretty sure, although Emrakul is the scariest, I'm pretty sure we could still easily lose to an Ulamog or even a Kozilek. So let's just not worry about the matchup. It's a rare deck. We just happen to play against him. The one guy on it. Not worried about it. Wasteland. Well, then you're talking, like Crucible Wasteland then. And I don't think our deck is really the best shell for it. You're talking Wasteland, Crucible, It is a cool deck. Right, it's like you get to run more copies of Show and Tell. Eureka is kind of like the green Show and Tell. Yes, it's green-green. If you can pull off a mana base that's capable of casting it, it's like you get to run 8 copies of a card that's normally only a 4 copy of. I mean, this is an option. I don't think it's correct. I mean, the end of that board state, he had nothing chokeable. He had nothing that we could hit with the Sundering Titan. Yeah, exactly, Wolftree. They're nearly the same. And if people put in cards, you keep going. Like, a lot of people misunderstand how Eureka works. You're spending 1 extra mana. Check this card out. It's actually very spicy. So here's the thing about Eureka. It's relatively cheap on Moto. Starting with you, each player may put a permanent from his or her hand onto the battlefield. Repeat this process until no one puts a card. Okay? So if your opponent, if they're so used to Show and Tell, if they're like, oh, well, I'll put something in too. Big mistake. Now, it's a little different, though, because Eureka, like, if you already put in something scary, they're less likely. You can kind of sequence your Eureka in such a way that you could maybe coax the opponent to put something in even though they're not supposed to. If somebody casts Eureka, their deck is built to abuse it more than your deck is, obviously. Unless you're also Show and Tell or some variant, never put a card in. Because they might have a second card that also benefits from just being put into play. Which I wouldn't recommend doing. It's a sweet card. It's definitely something we could brew around because it's so cheap and I've considered brewing with it. Green Hypergenesis. Exactly, Captain. I've wanted to brew with this card though. It's stupid cheap right now. It's a fun card. Cause my heart is in Ohio. What's something really funny we could put in with a Eureka? Why am I tempted to buy some of these? Because they're so cheap. Or die. Because you'll kill me. Why am I tempted to play around with this card? It's bad. Do you kill me well? Final breath is gone. So if we go to Johnny Bot and J Spot, we could have them. Eureka Nitfic? Oh man. It could be fun. I forgot how cheap they were, man. But Eureka, we could put anything into play. We gotta think of something really hilarious to put in. I mean, sure, I do own a Emrakul, excuse me. We could put that in. This might be a fun brew. I didn't realize how cheap it was. I assumed people were like, oh. I assumed people were like, oh, well, this card's awesome. I should pick up my playset. Not so. So those are for freebies. Wheel of Fate and Lotus Bloom. We'll think of something cooler to do with it. Who was the other one that we had cred with? Jace Card Bot. This could be a fun brew. It's not like we didn't get anything tonight. We did get points. Orcish Lumberjack. Oh, man. Make a Lumberjack deck in Legacy? You're crazy. But it's just crazy enough. It might work. That's turn 2 Eureka. Turn 2 Eureka. Eureka Lumberjack? Oh god. This is gonna be wonderful. J-Spot. I don't think I have the proper engine for that deck, though. I'm a Lumberjack. Do your Eureka Lumberjack. Well, the trick to Lumberjack is you want to run big things that you could actually hardcast, but the Eureka might speed it up. Eureka. Go deep with Fauna Shamans. The problem with Fauna Shaman is you only get to activate it once in a turn, and that's the problem. That's true. There's not a lot else that produces double green, so we know we're gonna be. Green, green, red. Do we want another color? E equals MC squared. Eureka! Alright, before we start buying something bad like Fauna Shaman, can we please just figure out a baseline for this thing? We have to be like, Lumberjack? Eureka! Like, it's an epiphany, right? It's like, you're like, oh! Now I understand what I'm doing with my life right now. So Eureka and Lumberjack, that's the baseline. It's gonna run Pyroblast, at least in the sideboard. Maybe it's a choke deck. Solution. Jackal? Is it a Jackal? No. Lumberjack. It's a combo deck, so it needs blue. Lumberjack is usually a rug-colored deck. It's usually rug-colored. At least Brainstorm. If not Ponder. So what else accelerates as quick as a Lumberjack into a Eureka? And like, what am I Eureka-ing? Am I gonna run the Emrakul? We do own one. I'm not looking to get any more right now. I don't know if we should main deck Pyroblast. It might be ambitious, but I certainly want some number of them in the list. Could this be a Magus of the Moon deck? That's typically what Lumberjack is in Vintage, is a Magus of the Moon deck. It's typically a Magus deck. I mean, Fauna Shaman might be fine. It would find the Emrakul. It's just really slow. That's my problem with it.